Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. You found the Everything Buckeye Nation show here. I'm your host, Jake Smith. As always with me, Corey Boyd. What's happening, Corey? It's been a little while since we've been on here now.
Yeah, it's been a while, a couple weeks. Season's over. We'll get into all that. Shout out to the fans, supporters, everybody that's in the comment section. We're going to get into a couple of subjects today. Let's go.
Good to be back. We haven't done a show since the Fiesta Bowl preview show. We will talk a little bit about that. Before I get to your comments, I want to give a big shout out to Producer G. As you all know, Producer G runs the show behind the scenes. Fresh new look. We'll be dropping some new graphics as the show goes on. Excited to bring them to you. So as you well know in the comment section, shout it out to Producer G. We appreciate you. We wouldn't be here without you. But how's everybody feeling? It's a Wednesday. We're almost a month removed now from the Fiesta Bowl. I've moved on. The season is over. The national championship has been played, and I am on to 2020. I feel like Bill Belichick when he was on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. I feel like I'm on to next year. I'm ready to move on. Have you moved on yet, Corey? How are you feeling?
It's over. Fans are funny, especially fans of the team that won. If you looked at Clemson fans during the championship game whining about the refs, it made me chuckle just a little bit. It made me chuckle inside. My heart was funny, like when you're roasting marshmallows, when you get a little funny feeling inside. I was like, oh, it's quite funny that you're whining about refs now. But it's over. It's in the past. We'll talk about the season and how we feel. But like you said, on to 2020 is what we have to go to now. But we'll talk about our feelings and how everybody else is feeling about our 2019 season. But it's time to move on. We got basketball, if you want to talk about that. We got football. You got your pro team. You got the draft. You got whatever you got. But we're moving on.
It's an exciting time to move along. I do love spring. Spring football is always exciting, and I absolutely adore the NFL draft. I would put the NFL draft, like round one of the NFL draft, as a top 5 day of the year for me, I think. I'm not a huge holiday guy. I mean, Christmas is fantastic. It's not the same, since I'm kind of grown up now. It's not the same as being a little kid waking up on Christmas morning. Birthdays, I've never been a birthday guy, so it really just kind of revolves around sporting events for me, of course, as I would imagine you are as well. And, that's kind of why we do this show. But NFL draft is my favorite time of the year, so excited for that. A lot to look forward to. Appreciate everybody watching here over on Facebook. We are on YouTube as well. Corey Shoemaker, Chris Lyons, Clyde Boyd, Laura Smith, Travis Napper, David Hemphill, Chris Lyons. Appreciate you guys. A lot to get to tonight, and like we talked about, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a little debriefing, all right? I know this probably isn't what everybody wants to talk about, so we won't spend too much time on the game itself. Of course, we got screwed out of a couple bad calls. There's no doubt about that changed the game. There's no question. Worst part about it for me was that we were still right there and had our chance to win, even with everything that went against us. The crazy amount of missed calls that would have went in our favor, and then the ridiculously bad calls that went against us anyway, and we were still right there. I felt like I got robbed. I still have this awful this feeling in the pit of my stomach. It just sucks that it ended that way. It's like if we didn't have our opportunities to still go win the game. I mean, we kicked 3 field goals in the red zone. We didn't do what we needed to do to win, and that's the worst part about it. I could blame the refs for the loss. But I'm not going to go all the way there. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I'm not a sore loser. I will come on here, and if people want to come in here and be like, ha, you lost, you suck, blah, 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 go ahead. You can do it. We lost. It is what it is. Like you said, we had our opportunities. Field goals don't win football games. Everybody knows that. You can't kick field goals in the red zone. You can't drop passes in the end zone. You can't drop screen passes. That's a walk-in touchdown. Mm-hmm. You cannot do those things because as much as we hate Clemson, as much as we hate Trevor Lawrence and his hair, you can't give them chances. But, listen, we got screwed out of a touchdown. I don't care what people want to say. You could say what you want. I'll take the targeting. I'll take Chase Young getting grabbed, chokeholded in the neck, and you're not calling holding. I will take all of that because that happens in football on every play. You can say, well, Ohio State held on every play. You can say that was targeting by the letter of the law. I will give you all of that, which I poo-poo on that too. But that was a fumble recovery for a touchdown. I don't care what anybody says after the game. Other referees were coming out. That was a bad call. It should have been. That right there, that what hurts me the most because that's a touchdown taken off the board. That's momentum. Yes, momentum, not momentum, momentum taken away. That changes everything. I don't care what people have to say. Well, I just said we missed we had field goals in the red zone. I said all that. But you take a touchdown off the board, momentum, it switches the game. That's what hurts me the most. When we got beat down 31-0, I was mad, but I wasn't saying we weren't good. I went to bed. End the story. When we lose this game, I felt we were the better team and we just let it get away. That's how I felt. The better team lost, and that's just my takeaway from that game. You could say I'm making excuses. That's fine. But when you take a touchdown off the board, it hurts my soul.
Well put, my friend. It really does. That's the worst part. And the craziest thing is the whole fact of indisputable video evidence to overturn it because it was called correctly on the field. How you go through replay and determine what they did, that almost makes you believe the fix was in. And I'm not going that far, but
that's it. You're right. Like I said, I'm not going that far. You have to score touchdowns in the red zone. I'm not going to be that guy and say that one play lost the game. Because if you have 21 points instead of 9, that probably doesn't even matter then.
Yep.
The game's probably over. You probably step on their throat and they have no shot. So we take a big part in that. But still, get the call right. It's your job. If I'm a teacher, I'm supposed to teach you right. I'm teaching you 2 + 2 is 4. I don't teach you 2 + 2 is 5 sometimes when it wants to be. No, do your job right. And that is how I felt, and I will feel that way forever.
I'm with you, man. Tough stuff. David Hempel says, go Bucks. Missed watching your live videos. Appreciate that, David. Chris Lyons said, I thought at least we had the basketball team, but they've taken a complete 180. They have seemingly taken a turn for the worst. Travis Napper says they could turn it back on. We'll see. Preston Dunn. Shawnee Weber, appreciate you tuning in. Shawnee, been a while. Hopefully Mike's doing well, getting playing some practice squad time with the Chiefs there. That's exciting. Chris Lyons agrees refs suck, but we left too many points on the board. And David Hempel says, I think we're jinxed when playing Clemson since Woody punched that player. Bobby Stover agrees with you. Scott Ewing in here. Aaron Hawker, appreciate you guys. And my guy Brady Armitage is just tuning in. But, it brings us to this point we wanted to get to. How do you rate this season? Let me know in the comments section. And if you're watching, share this around to your various Ohio State Facebook groups and whatnot, YouTube, whatever you're watching on. We appreciate it, but that's how this video gets around thanks to you, so share it around for us. We appreciate that, and let's talk about how you would rate this season, okay? Arguably one of the best seasons in the history of Ohio State football that didn't end with a national championship. 13-1, we beat our rival, won the conference. Scale of 1 to 10, how do you want to go about this, Corey? Do you want to put it on a scale of 1 to 10? Do you want to just say success or failure, pass, fail? Like, how do you feel now about this past season?
I love our fans here. And before they got a comment on YouTube. Cheryl says, "Hey fellas, yeah, Corey, I agree totally about cheating out of a TD. Sad emoji face over on YouTube. If you're watching, leave a comment. We'll give a shout out. Appreciate that. I love our fans. So let's give a letter grade. Okay?
Cool.
You know, we all went to school. We all know what letter means. F, fail. A, passing. B, C, average. From there, let's give a letter grade. We all went to school at one point. We at least made it to kindergarten. We got that far at least. All right, we at least got that far. We're not going to go from there because I'm not going to insult your intelligence. We got that far. So F to A, give a grade to the season for our Ohio State Buckeyes. Now that you watched it, we'll read the comments, and then we will go. Me and Jake did not rehearse this. We don't know our grades. I don't know what he's giving. I don't even know what I'm giving yet. But I'm going to go to the comments and see what they say from A to F. A means you rock. F means you suck. You failed. Incomplete. Try again.
Yeah, we're professionals here. I just scribbled down some notes before. I used to make a prep sheet and everything, but
You know what I call it, Jake? I think we've been doing this so long now that we're like, I know the other person. I know the fans. We're good. We're all right.
We'll keep it rocking. You don't need any 2-page notes with recruits' weight and height and everything, where they came from and what they had for breakfast yesterday. Looking at some of these comments, a lot of positive reviews. Corey Shoemaker says, at least we didn't go out like punks like we did in 16. I'll give you that. Drew Nadler, you guys rock. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate that.
Travis Napper gives it an A. Chris Hersey gives it an A. Annie Palm says, think positive. Chris Hersey says A. Clyde Boyd says B+. First one that's not an A. Bobby Stover, A+. Corey Shoemaker says, I rate it better than the last 5 years of Jimmy's up north. I like that. And Drew says, I'll give it an M for mastered. My kid's in kindergarten. Brady says B+. David Hempel, A-. Brian Price, what's up, boys? Brian, how do you rate this season? Letter grade, A+, F, where do you come in? Corey, you or me first?
I'll go first.
All right.
I'll go first. Now, to me, you guys can boo me all you want. Didn't win the national title. A+ is off the board for me. I can't give you an A+ because you didn't win the national title. A+ to me is perfect. You didn't miss a question. You went into there and you just aced it. A+ is off the board. All right? I'm going to go with an A-, and this is why. They lost the playoff game. They hurt my soul. They gave it all they got. But at the beginning of the year, I'm going to be honest, I cannot say that I thought this team was going to come out and dominate almost everybody they played. I can't say I expected that. I didn't know what to expect. And off the expectations that, listen, people said Michigan was supposed to win the Big Ten. Ohio State, they got about a 5% chance to win the Big Ten. This is Michigan's year. Ohio State, they got a first-year quarterback. Let's see. And then we steamroll almost everybody until we get to Wisconsin. And to me, they shut them out in the second half. We shoot ourselves in the foot against Clemson, a call here, a call there. I'm going to go with an A- because we weren't even expected to do this. Maybe this year coming up, we were expected to be something like this. So I give it A-. We had a suspension to one of our best defensive players. Didn't miss a hiccup with that, too. I go A- for our Buckeyes after the hurt of losing to Clemson.
I like all your points there. David Hempel, A-. That's right. Brandon Eby says A+. Tyler Whalen, an A. First-year coach, big shoes to fill after Urban. Brian Price gives a A+, 100%. Chris Hersey, still a great year. Julie is here this week from San Antonio. What's up, Julie? Thanks for tuning in. Give a letter grade for the Buckeyes season, A+, all the way down to F. How do you feel? Corey said A-. A lot of times on these sports talk shows, the two co-hosts will go at each other's throats and completely disagree, and that's supposed to be good for ratings. this isn't one of those shows. I'm going to give them an A. I'm 100% with you on the A+ is reserved for the national title. If we won the national title, obviously A++ with flying colors, yada, yada, yada. Honor roll, Dean's List, you name it, all right? This was an incredibly impressive season to the point where all season we were waiting for the letdown that has been accustomed to us under Urban Meyer. And it never came. Even in the Fiesta Bowl, yeah, we were let down, but we could still see our program is arguably the best program in the country because, like you said earlier, the better team did not win the Fiesta Bowl. So in that aspect, yes, it was a letdown, but every other game, Ryan Day continues to impress, signed a fantastic recruiting class in his first year. Before the season, we said, look, Ryan Day is going to have to prove it on the field if he's going to be able to succeed in recruiting. Well, right now we've got the number 4 class in the country, only waiting on one guy who's probably going to keep his intent. He will sign. I intend to think that he will sign in February. We'll get to that a little bit later. But it's an A for me, just no plus because we didn't win it all. We impressed at every single turn. I can't get over Ryan Day. I absolutely love the guy. I think this program is in great hands for years to come, so long as the NFL doesn't come calling with an offer he can't refuse. I think the only offer he would take in the NFL at this point would be Belichick's job in New England, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, fingers crossed. That's a conversation for another time, but I give it an A because he exceeded expectations. Like you said, ESPN's FPI gave us a 7% chance or whatever to win the Big Ten, and we just went out there and left no doubt, which is something we haven't necessarily done in the last few years under Urban Meyer, and things are looking up under Ryan Day. I give it an A. Hold the plus for the lack of the natty. But what are some commenters saying? You got anything over there?
Well, on YouTube, Cheryl just shut everything down with these grades. She said no. 3 field goals is not acceptable. The job's not done. She gave it a C for average. She said, shut it down. I would not want to go to her class in college. Not good at all. She said C. And I'm going to butcher this name on YouTube. Oh, man. Site PSYOPS. How would you say that? PSYOPS.
It's like Cyclops without the C and the L.
He says, I hope for the love of God we work on our linebackers, he or she. I'm not going to say it's he or she. And we have an easy schedule, so shouldn't be too hard to run the table next year. That's over on YouTube. I didn't want to butcher your name, so I just spelled it out. Thank you for the comments over on YouTube. Appreciate you.
Yep. A couple of other comments on Facebook. Let's see. Get back to where I was here. Israel Bookman, A-. Amy Utenstein gives an A. Brady says, too much talent to fall short. A+ to the new coach, though. I'd agree with that. Julie gives it an A-. Laura BP in the building. What's up, Laura?
Hey, Laura. Hello.
And Travis Pyatt says, A+ through the Big Ten title. A- after the game versus Clemson. Julie asked about the NFL draft. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And, man, Chris says she is wrong. Chris, you better watch yourself. That's Corey's mom we're talking about now. Just be careful. And Julie says, Ryan Day is super. Love the no-drama approach. Brian Price says, I believe in title games they should mix the refs from all divisions. Right now they had, because it was a little shady. I thought, of course, ESPN, who covers the playoffs. Well, what are you laughing at?
A little shady. Oh.
Well, so if you don't know, ESPN owns the rights to the playoffs, and they also own the SEC network and the ACC network. So, very interesting that the two games, obviously LSU beat the piss out of Oklahoma. There was nothing there, but the amount of calls that went against Ohio State or just weren't called at all, like the Chase Young face mask held, KJ Hill getting held in the end zone, everything you can imagine. Very interesting that they wound up with the matchup they wanted. And in the LSU game, which the SEC team won, they had ACC refs officiating that one. And then in the Ohio State-Clemson game, they had SEC refs officiating that one. I don't know. They did have Pac-12 refs in the title game, and they seemed to do an all right job. I don't know. Clemson got screwed on a couple calls, which, like you said earlier, I really wasn't too upset to see. In fact, I was smiling rather wide, but I don't know, in those kind of games, do you really want to mix and match refs that haven't officiated together all season? It's a tough call. I just think you got to get it right at some point. However you do it, you got to do it. But I don't know, man. It's a shame, but overall, great year, a lot to look forward to. So I'm excited. I'm on, as Belichick would say, I'm on to 2020. We're moving on. And really, that's all I have to say about the end of this 2019 season. Do you have anything else to wrap it up?
I will say this. I do like David Hemphill's bold prediction for next year. He said Chris Olave will break the Buckeye record for most receiving yards this season. That's his favorite player. I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder because he came out and admitted he was a man and said that was my fault. I broke my route. And you tweeted it, and I seen it before you tweeted. If you watch that play, your stomach, your chest, your heart, any organ in your body dropped. Because if he just ran his route, touchdown Buckeyes. But that's here nor there. I still love Chris Olave. I don't hate him. I don't get on here like some Ohio State fans that I will not, you know what? I'm not going to get mad because some people were saying, see, we should have kept Burrow. You see that pick that Fields threw? He didn't leave for Justin Fields. Okay, never mind. I told you I'm not going to go there because some people piss me off with their stupidity. Anyways, I don't want to hear, before we get to next year, another Chris Fowler game on Ohio State. None. I don't want to hear another. I will watch it on mute because his love for Trevor Lawrence made me want to dive off a cliff with no parachute. I swear. And you guys will never see me again. And you can go to my funeral. All right? Because it was just annoying. Like every time he ran for 2 yards, oh my God, the way he went through the 3-hole was just amazing. It was, oh my, and J.K. Dobbins runs for 30 yards and he's just like J.K. Dobbins with the first down. I'm like, what? It was ridiculous. And our national championship was abolished from history. They didn't even show it on the program. It was Alabama, Clemson, Alabama, Clemson, Alabama, Clemson. I'm just tired, and that's the only thing I got to say. Next year, please, Lord baby Jesus, do not have us with Chris Fowler and ESPN. I know they have a contract. We have to do something. Please.
Back to your point about people wanting Burrow over Fields. Look, man, the year Burrow transferred out, he threw 16 touchdowns, and Dwayne Haskins threw 50. So I don't want to hear it. Couple of comments before we move along. I love Hemphill's prediction about Chris Olave. You're right. Brian Price says champs next year guaranteed. It sure is looking like an Ohio State-Clemson rematch right now. But you never know with Alabama. And who knows who else might sneak up there. Notre Dame's going to have a really good team, and they play Clemson. That one week next year, we on the same Saturday, we get LSU, Bama, and Clemson, Notre Dame, which will be, I tell you, I won't be doing anything that day. I hope they don't play at the same time. That'll be good stuff. Julie says she simulcasts Paul Keels and Jim Lachey for most of the games because she doesn't like people calling the other people calling the game. That's good stuff.
I might have to do that when they're on ESPN. Well, now, I ain't going to lie. I love Joe Klatt and Gus Johnson. I love them too. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie. But when they're on ESPN, I might have to do that, Julie. I can't take it. I'm telling you. If I didn't value my life, I was thinking about going off a cliff. I really was, because they were annoying the crap out of me. It's pathetic. Like, me and you can be biased, and we're not paid millions of dollars.
We're not paid at all.
No, zero. Oh my God, it was just oh.
Man. Yeah, and Herbie was pretty bad as well. Man, I love Kirk Herbstreit. I really, really do. But he tweeted something out. I don't know if you saw this. Tweeted something out laughing at the people who call SEC bias because the SEC went 9-2 in bowl games and won the national championship again. And he's like, he said, great job by the opposing players and coaches and refs to all forfeit their games for the SEC to make them look good this year. Hashtag sarcasm. Like, thanks, Kirk. Didn't pick up on that. Thanks for the hashtag. And also, now all of a sudden bowl games matter because the last 2 years the SEC went like 6-5 and 5-6, and it was because they weren't really invested in the games. They didn't really care. But now that they go 9-2, it's a great barometer for conference strength. It's like, man, give me a break. And I love Herbie, but that was a swing and a miss.
Yeah, I didn't see that tweet.
Yeah, I was getting fired up. Chris agrees, loving Fox covering the games. And David Hemphill says, everyone needs to watch Urban and Fox instead of College Game Day. Boycott ESPN. Hey. That's by far the better pregame show. Big Noon Kickoff is much better than College Game Day. But I digress. And we're moving on to a new topic. In case you did not hear, Ohio State has a new defensive coordinator and secondary coach. The man, the myth, the legend, Kerry Coombs returns to Ohio State to replace Jeff Hafley, who left after just 1 year to take the head coaching job at Boston College. Now, if you haven't watched Ohio State football for the last 7 years, you may not know Kerry Coombs, but that would be a real shame, and I'd be surprised if you were watching this show. Kerry Coombs coached the cornerbacks and the DBs for Ohio State from 2012 to 2017, and in those years produced 5 first-round NFL draft picks. Not too shabby, and he's back again. I'm fired up. Absolutely home run hire, I think, to replace Jeff Hafley. What do you guys think in the comments? Let me know. Are you excited to have Coach Coombs back? I don't see how you can't be. I was pumped to hear about this, and it seemed to be in the works for a while because we didn't hear anything else. We were all kind of hoping for Kerry Coombs, but not one other name was brought up this entire time. We didn't have Jeff Hafley. And it's finally official. Kerry Coombs is the new defensive coordinator. Corey, how do you feel about Coach Coombs coming back, bringing the energy?
Love his energy, says P-S-Y-O-P-S. I want to spell his name because I don't want to butcher it. I do not want to say love his energy. I agree, love his energy. And for the 5 he sent first round, I think I have it. Bradley Roby, Marshawn Lattimore, Garyon Conley, Denzel Ward, and Eli Apple. But, I said Eli Apple because I think he's the worst one out of the bunch. Listen, I try not to disrespect players unless you really get on my nerves, James Harden. But that's another thing for another day, all right? Now, but yes, the energy, you can see, look at the picture look in the middle of it. You can just see the energy right there. You know what? That was probably just a first down incompletion. That's probably what that was, and he is still energized. And that's as a cornerbacks coach. Now he's going to be over the entire defense. So you could take that energy and times it by 10 is what you're going to get. It does excite me. You see the talent he puts in the NFL in the first round is you want to make these guys better. And the only thing that worries me about that is when I see Denzel Ward on there, he doesn't turn his head around. Hopefully he fixes that when he gets here. Listen, Denzel is my guy, but turn around your head. All right? I hope he teaches our guys now to turn around their head. I wish he had Okuda this year, my Lord, because he's a beast, but he will not, but that's okay. He does have Mr. Wade.
He does have Sean Wade coming back.
Yes.
And it's important to note, with that legacy that he left 5 first-round DBs in 5 or 6 years, he recruited, in case you guys didn't know, Jeff Okuda, who's going to be a top 5 pick this year, and Sean Wade, who could have been a first-rounder but is coming back to Ohio State, which is a huge get. Those guys were ranked number 1 and number 2 corners in the country in the 2017 recruiting class. And they both picked Ohio State because they're like, yo, This guy can coach DBs. Not only did he develop guys to put them into the league, but he can recruit the best of them. Okudah and Wade were 1 and 2 coming out. And now he gets to come back full circle. He did coach them for their freshman years. Now Okudah's gone to the pros. Wade's coming back. Could be the number 1 corner pick next year. And then he's got like all the guys on the staff right now, like on the roster, I should say, were recruited by Kerry Coombs. Like, he recruited these guys. Sevyn Banks, Marcus Williamson. These guys we needed a big-time hire, and he's going to come in and develop these kids into NFL players. And it's just what he does. He just churns them out, and he's an elite recruiter, man. He's just so exciting. I tell you what, I just watched this video, and I'll have to share it on the Buckeye Nation page later on, but I found this video, and I think Jeremy Birmingham of Letterman Row tweeted this out the other day. It's a video of Coach Coombs addressing some recruits and their families on a visit to Ohio State back in like 2013. And just the passion that he speaks with and how engaging he is with these players, these families. It's incredible to see. Obviously, you see the guy on TV wearing short sleeves in a blizzard and running around like he just had a Red Bull injected into his arm and all this and all that. But he really is very good at connecting with these kids. And it's just so exciting to have him back. And good for him, because he was just a DB's coach when he was here. Mike Vrabel gets hired as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans and asks him to go coach the DBs in Tennessee. He does a hell of a job in 2 years, and now he's back as the defensive coordinator at Ohio State. He bet on himself. He's getting a hell of a pay raise, and he is already out recruiting. They announced him as the new defensive coordinator on Monday, and he is out on the trail on Tuesday. I mean, the man I'm so happy to have him back, man. And I think recruiting is really going to take off again. We have a huge need for defensive backs. We lost 2 safeties to the transfer portal, Brendan White and Isaiah Pryor. Jeff Okudah's gone, Damon Arnett's gone, Jordan Fuller's gone. I mean, that's a lot of people to replace in the secondary. Luckily, Shaun Wade's coming back, and we got a decent DB recruiting class in 2020, but we're still waiting on Cam Martinez. He's the only commit for the 2020 class that didn't sign on early signing day. And that'll be Wednesday, February 5th, if he decides to stick with the Buckeyes. He's a 2-time player of the year in that state up north. And he's a hell of a player. If you look up his huddle tape, his highlight film, Corey, is 10 minutes of just touchdowns. He played quarterback and he was state player of the year as a junior and a senior. And we want him to play safety, I guess. And he was waiting to see who was going to be the DB's coach, and Kerry Coombs went and I think visited him today. I feel pretty good about Kerry Coombs, and then the number 5 corner in the country for 2021 has already been predicted to land with Ohio State now that Kerry Coombs has been hired. It's just the machine keeps rolling, man.
Yeah. David Hemphill has an interesting question. He says, if Ryan Day would ever take another coaching job, do you think Mike Vrabel could be the next coach at Ohio State?
I mean, he could. Obviously, if he wanted to. A resume as the NFL head coach, so far so good for Vrabes, and I'm happy for him. I would look at maybe they want to try the promote from within approach like they have. And maybe that would be, Brian Hartline seems to be an up-and-coming stud in the coaching game. Kevin Wilson, I don't know if that... I don't know. I mean, I would think they might go after Luke Fickell, maybe over Vrabel, because I don't think Vrabel's really the recruiting type. That's not really his game. I think he's a better fit in the pros. But... I don't know. That's an interesting question. What do you think about that?
I don't think Tennessee's letting them go. That's my opinion.
Hey.
I think he's the next Mike Tomlin, to be honest with you. He's going to be there for a while. He just took that team to the AFC Championship game. Beat the Patriots. He ain't going nowhere. To me, if Tennessee has their way, hey, buddy, guess what? How much you want? How much do you want? He just made Ryan Tannehill. No disrespect, Tannehill look pretty darn good and probably got him paid. I don't think he's going anywhere. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. He's young, energetic, does drills with the players before the game. Have you seen that? Have you seen the video of that?
Dude, he's going to get hurt.
My good. I'm like, man, you ain't got no pads on, man. You better calm down. So I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going to be at Tennessee for a while, and that's my opinion. But, hey, I could be wrong.
I'm with you there. Chris Ursay loves the Kerry Coombs hire. Travis Napper definitely excited. Norman Klein is excited to have him back and his energy. He's funny, man. Have you seen that Photoshop picture of his like screaming face on a Red Bull stunt airplane? Oh man, it's pretty funny. It's just he's so energetic. I think Coach Mickey Marotti had a press conference today, and he said Kerry Coombs was drinking coffee and on the treadmill at 5:30 a.m. at the Woody yesterday or something. Like, this man just runs on. I don't know, man, but I could use some of whatever he's got brewing.
Right.
I'm excited to have him back. I think it's a great hire to replace Jeff Hafley. I wish Hafley all the best in Boston College. I'm kind of surprised he took that job, but if he felt it was right for him, good for him. It's kind of, it's almost like a Luke Fickell and a Joe Burrow situation. Like, I'm rooting like heck for the guy. I appreciate what he did for us, and if he ever comes across and has to play Ohio State, then not so much. But good for Hafley, and I'm really excited to have Kerry Coombs back. Lee Travis is in here talking about John Goddard's meatloaf, as he does. David Hemphill says, Buckeyes hit a great milestone the other day. It's been over 7,000 days since the Wolverines have beat Ohio State in Columbus. That is outrageous.
A lot of days.
What was that, 2000, I guess?
I think so.
Wow. That's wild, man.
Yeah.
It's about to be 20 years since they beat us in the shoe, and I don't think that's going to change next year. I'm intrigued to see what they put on paper next year. You'll be happy to hear this. One of my favorite NFL draft writers I follow is Matt Miller of Bleacher Report, and he said yesterday he had absolutely nothing good to say about Shea Patterson at the Senior Bowl. He couldn't put anything anywhere, was really struggling with the wind and all this. There were some writers that said, he's pretty good, like he looked okay, but I'm not surprised, and I think Wolverines fans are happy to see him go, maybe. They got McCaffrey as their backup.
Hey, it's their year this year, man. We're going to hear the same thing. This is it. This is it. Revenge Tour Part 67. All right, man. All right.
Hey.
Here we go. Here we go again.
What year is this for Harbaugh? He was in 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So what? He's 0-5 now?
0-4 versus Urban and 0-1 versus Day.
Damn. This is their year, though, man. Off-season champs every year.
That's the one fan base I don't let say anything. Shut up. Shut up. You don't get to root for anybody. Just watch basketball or something. Field hockey. Table tennis. You just stop rooting against us in football. Shut up. All right? Just watch something else.
I don't know if you know this, Corey. I'm a pretty well-refined ping pong player.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for one time I said that and got waxed by somebody. But that's how it goes. I want to move ahead. I want to talk about spring ball here because we're moving on to the 2020 season, okay? And you're not going to believe this, but we've got less than, I think it's 5 weeks from yesterday. So less than 5 weeks now until spring practice starts. Like, we're back, man. We're ready to go. It's time. It's time to see what these guys are made of in spring ball. I love spring practice. And we had something crazy like 14 players enroll early as freshmen. So we're about to see all 4 wide receivers that we signed. I think maybe 3 offensive linemen, 2 quarterbacks, and then 5 guys on defense, something like that enrolled early, and they're already in the program trying to compete to play as a true freshman. I'm excited to think that we're already moving on. Okay, we're moving on to I love springtime spring football is exciting. March 2nd, I believe is what it is. It's a Monday. March 2nd is when we begin spring practice. It's already time. I love spring practice. The spring game's going to be played on April 11th. That's a Saturday. So it's about time. And I'm curious to see where we go because we lost a lot of guys. Obviously, Chase Young, Jeff Okudah, and J.K. Dobbins we lost. Who do you think, Corey, of those 3 is going to leave the biggest hole? And is it as obvious as just saying Chase Young?
Before I get to that, Timothy Roberts said, my Clemson friends absolutely hate old Joe. And PSYOPS, I'm still not going to attempt to say it, says, any word on who the new president of Ohio State is?
No. Nope. But I'm glad Michael Drake's out of there. I tell you that much.
All right. And to answer your question, I'm not going to say Chase Young. That's the easy way out because I think we have depth in our defensive line.
I do too.
None of them is Chase Young. So I don't want people leaving here. Did you hear what Corey said? He just said, hey, Chase Young's gone. Who cares? No, not saying that. Obviously, I haven't seen our defensive backfield, but listen, Okudah's going to hurt not having him there. But not going there either. I'm going J.K. Dobbins. And here is why. If you watch that Clemson game, when he got tired, now I'm not saying Master Teague's not good. I don't want you guys going there, oh, you don't believe in that? No, I'm not saying that. But they didn't give him the ball when it mattered. Fields was not 100%, and they said, guess what? You're throwing. Throw. And they even ran him with his bum knee. They would not give Master Teague the ball. Now, I'm not saying he won't be ready. He may have an outstanding spring, and but that's how much we relied on J.K. Dobbins. When he was tired or when he had a hurt ankle, they didn't even think about giving the ball to Master Teague when it mattered most. They threw it, or they ran Fields with a bum knee until Dobbins got back. Then they said, here, workhorse, you take it. So right now, without seeing the team play, I'm going to say out of those 3, if you put my feet to the fire, or if you said we're going to empty your bank account, I'm going to go with J.K. Dobbins.
I agree with you, man. Teague really struggled down the stretch. Really, it was against the elite teams, and I don't know if – he was 3rd team all Big Ten as a backup tailback. It's really impressive, and I love Master Teague, big fan of his, have been for a long time. But it's a little concerning seeing him struggle down the stretch against the Wolverines, the Badgers, and then Clemson. Like, he had something like 45 yards on his final 21 touches of the year. Like, that is bad. So, I don't know. I know a lot of guys in the Ohio State program love Marcus Crowley. Now, he got dinged up a little bit this year, but should be healthy and ready to go next season. And he's that kind of game-breaking back, kind of like J.K. Dobbins was. Little shiftier, better open field speed. Teague's kind of that one-cut back and go, run you over. He has decent breakaway speed as well. But it'll be interesting to see. That running back battle will be one to watch. I'm going to go on the opposite end. I am going to take Jeff Okudah just because he's such an elite cornerback prospect. As I mentioned earlier, Matt Miller of Bleacher Report has him as the highest rated corner to come out of college since Jalen Ramsey and Patrick Peterson before that. Okudah's so damn good, and thank God Shaun Wade's coming back. That'll help a little bit, but we got a lot of young guys that got to step up. I don't know if it's Sevyn Banks. I don't know if it's Cam Brown. If Amir Reep is going to come back and play corner when he was playing safety. Amir got a lot of playing time in the Fiesta Bowl, which I was good to see. You got to get those guys in there. Safety Josh Proctor is going to fill in for Jordan Fuller next year. And Proctor got baptized by fire, man, against Clemson. He got juked out of his shoes on Lawrence's 60-yard run, and that one hurts to watch, and I know that's digging at him every day. And frankly, I'm grateful, and it should. But I'm going to go with Okudah being the toughest one to replace. Obviously, Kerry Coombs is going to get in there and work with his guys and raise the level of their play. But I'm going to stick with Jeff Okudah on that one. Appreciate everybody in here watching the show. David Hemphill says we need to try and get another tailback in the transfer portal. I'm curious as to your thoughts on that, Corey, because right now we're struggling a little bit with scholarship numbers. I think if we do sign Cam Martinez, we're going to be 3 spots over the limit, which means 3 guys got to go. And I don't know if they're going to be medically disqualified because they're always injured, or if they're going to kind of get that sit-down talk like, hey, you're not going to play here if you want to look elsewhere. A defensive lineman, Alex Williams, just entered the transfer portal. He is a local kid out of Pickerington that we flipped kind of at the last second from West Virginia. And he didn't hardly play at all in his 2 years, and that's fine. There are going to be those guys that you kind of take a flyer on late that don't pan out, and other guys that are highly rated that don't pan out. But right now I think we're 3 spots over the scholarship limit, and if we add another guy in the transfer portal, whether he's at cornerback or running back, that's just another tough conversation we're going to have, and I'm not sure Ryan Day wants to be that guy that is taking in more guys just to kick others out. I mean, I do that in the NCAA video game all the time. But this ain't NCAA. I recruit, I try and get the best players as possible. And then when it's time to cut, I sort by I sort by overall and cut the worst guys. And if, you just got to, I don't know, man. I don't think Ryan Day wants to be that kind of drill sergeant, sorry, you're out type of guy, but that's college football, man. We're going to have those conversations, so I'm not sure if we'll look to the transfer portal or not, but either way, we're a few scholarships ahead of where we need to be by August, so it'll all work itself out. It always does. We'll probably see I would say a wide receiver is going to transfer, maybe an offensive lineman, maybe a linebacker. I'm not going to put any names out there because I don't think that'd be fair, but those are the position groups I would sort of look at as potential to be missed. So we'll see about that.
I got
go ahead.
A couple comments on YouTube. K-Mac, my guy K-Mac says, if T can improve his vision like Dobbins, then he'll be good. And I'm just going to say psyops, man. I'm probably butchering it, but hey, I gave it a try. He said, any word on swing and miss Tate Martell? Laugh out loud. I haven't heard anything. I've been, I've got off of it because I seen how great Justin Fields was. And I said, you know what? I would have ran away too. I just wouldn't have talked trash when I ran. I just would have got my first ticket to the next college and went bye-bye. That's all. So
I don't know what Tate Martell wants to do, man. If he really wants to play football, does he really want to play football anymore? I mean, he's got the looks, he's got the model girlfriend, he's in Miami. Go do something else, man. I don't know what it is, but I don't think he's going to be playing. Does he want to play football is my main question, and I'm not sure that he does. And former Houston quarterback De'Aaron King, who is a baller, just announced his transfer to Miami, and he sat out this year. He took a red shirt this year to transfer, and so he's going to play right away. And I don't think Tate's going to – I mean, he's not going to play over De'Aaron King, so I don't know what he's going to do. But, man, talk about a fall from grace. Imagine if he stayed here. He would have gotten plenty of time as a backup this year behind Fields. I don't know, man. I don't know what the kid's doing, but if you look at his Instagram page, he's got it all. So what more could you ask for?
I don't follow him on Instagram, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's tough. Brian Price loves your jacket. I got to say, that is pretty dope.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that.
And Drew Nadler says, Harrison is a beast. Master Teague finished 3rd or 4th in the Big Ten as a backup. Our linebackers will have another year of experience. Secondary will be unproven, but Wade will be a shutdown corner. Garrett Wilson will be the best receiver in the country next year with Olave. Man, I tell you what, I'm really excited about the wide receivers. This is what I talk about in our last 10 minutes or so here. What are you excited to see about next year's team? It can be a coach, it can be a player, it can be a game on the schedule. We'll probably get to we'll talk about the schedule next week or whenever, as we move along here. But a player to step up, what are you looking for? I'm definitely excited for the wide receivers. Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson will be a hell of a tandem. And then we've got those 4 wide receivers that are early enrollees. You've got Julian Fleming. All 4 of these guys are ranked in the top 100, and they're just fantastic players. Julian Fleming is the number 1 player in the country, arguably. And then you've got Jackson Smith-Njigba, G. Scott Jr., and Mookie Cooper, who's regarded as the best slot receiver in the country. All 4 of those guys are on campus now, going through workouts and about to start their first spring ball. I look for those guys to make an impression early on. I mean, especially if we don't have that nice of a running game. Fields is going to be airing it out this year, dude. And I'm excited to see some of these true freshman receivers step up. At least on the offensive end, that's what I would say right now. What about you?
The passing game. Fields had 41 touchdowns and 3 picks. 2 against Clemson. 1 wasn't his fault. His first year starting at quarterback. First year. And I read somewhere where this is Ryan Day's first time having the same quarterback return.
Yep.
For him to coach.
Yep.
Let that sink in for a minute.
Will you say
41 touchdowns, 3 picks. Ryan Day's first quarterback returning for him to coach. For all the people, not saying you guys, get him off the team. I don't want him. Oh, we should have got Joe, but it ain't even the same thing. 41 and 3. First time being quarterback. I think this passing game, man, listen. I think this passing game can be monstrous. We already seen what these freshman receivers can do. Now, Olave's not a freshman, but, man. I think the passing game is just going to be phenomenal this year. I think it might have to step up a little bit because you can't lean on the run until we see what our running backs can do. But I think the passing game is going to go to a whole nother level. He has a year of film to watch. Now, I know they can watch film on him too. I understand it, but he's going to understand the game. I heard he was practicing during the national championship. That's what I heard. I don't know how true it is. I heard it. I don't know if it's true. I didn't get to watch it. I wasn't there. But I think the passing game is going to go to a whole nother level. I'm excited for it. I can't wait. I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. Him and Olave. I'm ready.
I like it, man. It's going to be very exciting, and, if the running game isn't to where we want it to be. Look, Ryan Day is a quarterback. He was a quarterback. He was a quarterback's coach. He's a hell of a schemer, too. I mean, some of the plays we ran this year just blew your mind, man. And like you said, having a Justin Fields come back, it's the first time in his 7 years as a quarterback coach and coordinator that he's coaching the same guy the next year. First time. I mean, Ryan Day is hailed as this quarterback guru. Not he actually produces, unlike the quarterback guru that they were talking about as the head coach of the Wolverines, who just lucked, no pun intended. Actually, I should intend that pun because pretty damn good that he lucked out for Andrew Luck. I don't think Harbaugh did anything to improve Andrew Luck's game because we've seen what he's done with the Wolverines quarterbacks. Ryan Day actually is a quarterback guru. And a whole off season with Justin Fields, he's going to be so damn good next year. And he's going to set himself up. It's going to be a race next year. Fields and Trevor Lawrence are going to go 1-2 in the draft. The order remains to be seen. But I am confident that barring injury, Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields go 1-2 in the 2021 NFL draft. And a lot of that has to do with Ryan Day, and I'm really excited to see how this passing game comes through next year. Couple comments over on Facebook. David Hempel says, I told everyone that Urban Meyer was going to stay in Columbus, that he's done coaching, and then all these rumors going to USC, the Dallas Cowboys, Cleveland Browns. After everything is done, he's still here in Columbus. Hate to tell everyone, I told you so. Pretty funny there. Daryl Mans Jr. says Garrett Wilson will be unstoppable next season. Him and Olave are going to be so damn good, dude. Oh, my God. And David Campbell says that Oregon game and revenge against Iowa. Looking forward to see it. I'm looking to go out to that Oregon game. It's the second week of the season, Saturday, September 12th. My best friend growing up just moved out to Portland, so I got to get out there and see him. That might happen. I'm actually, Corey, I don't think I told you, I'm taking a trip at the end of March out to Portland and then stopping in Denver on the way back, see some family. I've never been that far west. How about you?
Not Oregon, no. Never been there. Oh, shoot. All right.
Gonna go see the Pacific, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I've never been that far. Furthest west I've ever been was like Salt Lake City, and I was 5, so I don't count that.
Right.
But
hey,
hopefully go out to see that Oregon game in September. How cool would that be? At Oregon, that'd be a cool environment.
Yes, it would. That would be sweet.
Maybe we'll get some huge investor to buy our show before then and send you and I out there, and we'll fly G up there and everything.
That would be sweet. That would be sweet. Don't let me get acting a fool on the road, man. Listen, all y'all suck. K-Mac on YouTube says Jameson Williams will be a big surprise. His speed is insane. Write it down.
We saw a little bit of that this year, man. He took a slant and just ran 60 yards. I think it was against Rutgers, maybe Maryland. I can't remember, but his speed is undeniable. They compared him to Ted Ginn in the recruiting process, so that's high praise. Los Dos says, we can parlay all day, but we better never lose to Clemson again. Man, I don't know what it is, man. Somebody said earlier it's our curse from Woody Hayes punching that kid. Who knows? But David Hempel says next year the national championship will be Ohio State versus Clemson. We got to get our revenge at some point, man. Drew Nadler says definitely looking forward to that last home game. Nothing like being on the field with the team after the game singing Carmen, Ohio. Other than that, can't wait to see this offense. Olave, Fields, Wilson, Fleming, Teague returning one of the best O-line. That's a great point, too. We could have lost 3 offensive linemen. We could have lost all 5 offensive linemen. We're only losing the 2 seniors. Thayer Munford's returning for his senior season at left tackle. And then Josh Myers at center and right guard Wyatt Davis. Josh Myers and Wyatt Davis are some of the best interior offensive linemen in the country. And having them both come back is huge. I mean, with the opposite, taking J.K. Dobbins' absence out, which is a large absence, no doubt about it. this offense is going to be absolutely absurd next year. I mean, we're going to be putting up 50 points a game, I'd say. And our defense will be, we'll have to see what our defense looks like with Kerry Coombs and Greg Madison. Ryan Day says he wants to keep that single high safety and work with the three corners. That worked really well this year because we had Okuda and Wade and Arnett. Damon Arnett actually played like a baller this year, man.
And a broken hand.
Yeah, never would have thought that, but
yep.
Hey, man.
Prove me wrong. My bad, Damon Arnett. My bad, man. I was wrong.
And Matt Bodnar says Master T going to be a great back. Finished third in the Big Ten as a backup. He just needs a little more vision and patience. I agree. I think another year in the program offseason will do him well, but we'll see, man. He and Marcus Crowley, Steel Chambers, we got some young guys. And everybody forgets Demario McCall. Now, he's got another year of eligibility, I guess, so we'll see if he comes back. I would be surprised if I don't know. I don't know what they want to do with Demario McCall, so we'll see. That one, put a pin on that name because we might be talking about that guy this offseason. But that's all I got for this show tonight. Corey, you got anything else you want to add?
That's it, man. Yeah, that's it. Got most of the comments I see.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate everybody tuning in. This was a little bit of a hard show. First one back after the playoff loss, but we are moving on to 2020. Spring ball starts in less than 5 weeks, maybe less than 6 weeks. I can't remember exactly, but it's March 2nd. It's going to be here before you know it. We'll be back soon. Another live video here coming up in the next week or so. Stay tuned. We'll be putting out supporter videos as well. So go to our page, support the page, and certainly subscribe to our YouTube page. That's how we keep this show running. So we need your help, and we appreciate you as always. So for producer G, that's Corey Boyd. I'm Jake Smith signing off. See you next time. Go Bucks. OH.
I-O. Peace.
See you guys.